News now at this hour begins in the west of the continent, where armed terrorists suspected to be members of Boko Haram launched a violent assault on the Jakana police station in Konduga local government area of Borno State, Nigeria on Sunday. According to reports, the attackers killed the police driver and female acquaintance. At this point, we are now joined by our correspondent who has been monitoring the situation, Umaru Kirawa, who will be giving us the updates now. Umaru, thank you so much for joining us on the news. Quite devastating, I must say, what has happened right there at the police station. I'd like us to give us updates of the extent of damage done in that particular area.
Well, it's a well-known fact that the terrorists invaded the police station yesterday night, leading to the death of 2 individuals at the police station. And right behind me now, you can see 2 vehicles which were burnt down by the terrorists. Here you can see is one of the vehicles that was burnt down. It was set ablaze by the insurgents. And here is another vehicle which is also burnt down. And the other one, they tried to move with it. They tried to cut away with the vehicle. However, they were unable to go away with the vehicle. They tried shooting the tank, expecting to burst the car. Unfortunately, it has not, and they tried all effort to move away with the cars, but unfortunately, it failed. So they decided to burn down the cars, and then they had to leave away because of the gunpowder by the men of the police and other officers here in Jakana. But right now, the situation is that of a normal situation where people go about their normal businesses in Baga. However, the gunshots have been very is worse because we've learned that they use RPGs and other high equipment, and they came in large number, leading to the death of 2 persons here.
So I'm actually wondering why they would attack a police station. Has there been any word from the Commissioner of Police as regards this? Because a few people would want to know why would they actually go for a police station? Maybe it's a strategic place when it comes to the security architecture of the states or something. Anything that helps us understand the need why they had to attack that place.
Well, it is important to note that this is not the first time the terrorists are attacking security outposts. And most importantly, even this Jakana police station, they have been trying to invade, to take over. However, the security forces have been strong enough to stem their tide and then to take charge of this place. But it was an unfortunate scenario that led to the death of 2 individuals.
So, of course, how did the security forces respond to this particular attack? Was there some sort of reinforcement to actually decimate them or deal with them in time?
Yes, there have been reinforcement, and most importantly, even the Maiduguri, Auno to Jakana road, we've seen heightened security presence, and of course, checks and patrols have been intensified by the armed forces on the road. They've even checked our booths, and they ask questions, they look at passengers, and so on and so forth. So by and large, they have intensified security measures, but much really need to be done because, as the saying goes, an enemy, no matter how great or small it should never be underestimated, so as to take proactive measures and then tackle the situation of killing of lives and then burning down of properties worth millions of naira.
In situations like this, what we'll still want to confirm, aside from the car or the vehicles that they were trying to take away, and of course, the ones that they burned, was there a situation whereby they were able to access the armory or maybe steal any of the ammunition? If they're trying to take over a particular place, then there must be one cogent reason for that. Maybe that ever happened.
Well, I can't really give much detail in terms of catering away with ammunitions and so on and so forth. But the fact is, they went through with one motorcycle, and then other details I can't give confirmation for now. But by and large, what the terrorists are doing now, to many, is that they are trying to create that sense of presence to the mentality of the people that the terrorists are still on ground. But the hope is peace will be maintained, peace will be sustained, taking into consideration the massive number of surrender by the insurgents. Presently, we have over 162,000 of the Boko Haram terrorists who have surrendered, and to the armed forces, this is one of the good news that the terrorists are surrendering. However, much really need to be done to tackle some of the marauding elements of the terrorists in the outskirts of towns and villages, so as farming activities to pick up, and then people go about their normal day-to-day activities after over 15 years of this unfortunate security concern.
Okay, so Maru, we also heard that there was another attack at the entrance of Gamboru-Ngala overnight. I'd like you to also touch on that, give us an update on what happened in that particular area.
Yes, similar incident by suspected terrorists happened also at Gamboru-Ngala yesterday, based on intelligence information I got, and of course, the video clip you are seeing is that of Gamboru-Ngala, where they burned down hundreds of vehicles, and a lot of properties were burned down by the insurgents because of the closure of the gate by security forces at that time, because they have time in which they close the gates. When it is 7, they close the gate, and any other vehicle have to wait until tomorrow to enter. So immediately the gate was closed, people have to wait, and then in the night, the terrorists just came and then burned down all those vehicles, cut away with foodstuffs and other things that they can go with, and then that's it.
Now, this is quite interesting. Now, we're seeing that the Nigerian army is trying as much able to see as many insurgents that might be willing to surrender and probably rehabilitated, because we know there's a program ongoing on that. But then we're seeing a series of attacks happen in Borno State. What does that say about the security state, of course, in Borno State? And how are people even living their lives with these sort of attacks happening in and around their villages and communities?
Well, it is quite unfortunate, but to most communities, things are getting better, because the attacks are gradually reducing to their lowest ebb, because then they used to displace whole communities. But of this in Jakana now, I interviewed many residents. They are not even aware of the attack to the police station. This goes to tell you how resilient the communities are. Be that as it may, a lot more need to be done in terms of actually clearing all the remnants of the Boko Haram terrorists, and of course, reorientation is critical in this aspect. So as some of them who are still fighters, they should understand that what they are doing is wrong, killing human being, or catering away with Steve, and so on and so forth. So much need to be done in terms of awareness creation, sensitization, continuous and sustained engagement with the communities, so as to see the end of this madness, to see the end of this unfortunate security concern in Borno and other communities in the Lake Chad.
And with this kind of carnage that we're seeing in Borno State, what has been the response of government in terms of humanitarian needs for the people affected, the businesses? Because we see vehicles that I want to believe are probably stuffed up with food items, or maybe those who are actually using these vehicles for businesses or something. One would want to wonder the amount of losses that would have gone into this particular heinous act. So is the Borno State government doing anything in order to help those who are affected by this particular incident in terms of probably, reaching out to them, resuscitating them, rehabilitating them, providing money for them to get back on their feet with this level of destruction that we just witnessed?
It is a whole lot of concern, and like the governor will always say, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Azulum, he always say that all hands need to be on deck, and the Borno now is recovering, and not only the government, international communities need to support the government, because even the governor, as I speak to you, he slept in Manguno town. They went there to distribute food items to over 30,000 persons. So the humanitarian situation is something else. However, much needs to be done in terms of supporting the government, and most importantly, the people are resilient. What they need from the discussion I had with them is they need farm implements, they need support to pick up the pieces of their lives, and they will never give up. This is what they are saying. They said there is one death. No matter what they do, they will die. So they will have to strive for survival. They are waiting for support to go back to farm. While the government, yes, is doing much in supporting them, but much really need to be done in terms of coming up with strategies and deploying good things to support the people so as to pick up the pieces of their lives and then forget the retrogressive activities of the insurgents in Borno and other communities in the Lake Chad.
Okay, so I'm going to let you go, Maru, but then let me just quickly chip this in. I've seen you relate with a couple of the Nigerian army, the personnel, and I'm gone through their routines in terms of documenting how they're trying to deal with the issue around insurgency in the, of course, in Borno State and along the borderline leading into Lake Chad. So I'd like to find out what is the intelligence gathering like for the security personnel in that area, because it would be needful if they're able to have enough information to nip situations like this before it happens, rather than have it happen. They were trying to mop up the gain, or the pains rather. So of course you have interacted with them. I'd like to find out, how has it been for them in trying to identify the enclaves or where these insurgents stay, and try as much as possible to apprehend them so that they don't go on perpetrating this?
Well, based on intelligence information, the Nigerian army has went to the Sambisa forest within the last 3 months, about 22 times into the Sambisa forest. But coming out with a lot of people, we've reported the Nigerian army handing over victims of insurgency to the Borno State government, taking them out of the enclaves of the insurgents, and of course, some Boko Haram and other fighters surrendering. However, there are still remnants of these insurgents marauding the communities in the Lake Chad, hiding under the guise of farmers sometimes. But the armed forces are really trying, because even recently they engaged community at the Memalari military cantonment on how to tackle issues of improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and what they need to do in terms of actually informing the security forces on how to tackle the situation, taking into example of what happened in Goza and so on and so forth. But then much really need to be done in terms of continuous engagement, continuous awareness creation, sustained intelligence gathering, and of course, empowerment of communities, youth groups, and so on and so forth.
Marikara, thank you so much for the update on this. We know that we'll be connecting with you to get more details as the day goes by on this, but then we want you to keep safe and keep your head high.